Finds this hour, Maldivian security forces reveals that no chance will be given to create chaos in Mali City. Stelco signs an agreement with Donphan Electric International Corporation to establish the Greater Mali Grid connection. And Indian Prime Minister meets top chief executive officers and business heads to explore options of close business cooperation.
Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Fatmat Sara. Security forces of Maldives reveals that no chance will be given to create chaos in Mali City, assuring that the forces will work to ensure that peace is established in the country. At a joint press briefing held by Maldives National Defence Force (MNDF) and Maldives Police Service (MPS), spokesperson of police Ahmed Chifan said the security forces have received intelligence that opposition is planning to create chaos in Mali City next Friday. Police service cited that action will be taken with individuals trying to disrupt peace in the society. In this regard, the police service said fire was set on 2 houses in Aldo City in an attempt to create unrest and added the case is being investigated as a serious offence. Spokesperson of MNDF Ibrahim Azam said at the press briefing that the efforts of the opposition to hold rallies in Mali City would create chaos and civil unrest in the country. He assured that security forces will take necessary action to ensure peace and security are established in the country. Security forces appeal to the public to maintain calm and ignore any incitement towards causing unrest. While investigations are ongoing on recent incidents, the security forces assured the public of swift and decisive action in any instance of incitement of violence. Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammed Shaini calls on all international communities to look into facts before coming to a conclusion on the current political situation in the Maldives.
Briefing on the current political situation in Maldives on a TV program aired on NDTV, Minister of Fisheries and Agriculture Dr. Mohammed Shaini stated that the administration of President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum has declared the state of emergency on certain areas and assured that the declaration has not harmed the peace and harmony of the nation. In this regard, the Maldivian minister cited that no curfew has been imposed and general movement of the people, services and businesses will not be affected. Furthermore, Minister Shaini said that the oppositional alliance tried to topple the current administration that has always remained steady in abiding by the constitution by bribing the judicial sector. In this regard, Minister Shaini highlighted that the Maldivian security forces has started investigating the attempted coup and stated that solid proof has been attained against individuals who have been arrested under this investigation.
Ex-President Mamoon, who is alleged for bribing these judges and other parliament members to create this scenario in the first place. So otherwise, those opposition leaders that you cite, nothing has happened to them at all. So yes, the situation is under control and we are looking into it. And since the state of emergency, we have actually revised twice the state of emergency to relieve some of those suspended articles in the constitution. And President is not putting any additional or unnecessary powers into hand. It's only on those areas and those people who are conspired to this bribery and the situation that we have in its unfolding.
Refuting claims by the international community that Maldives has undermined the rule of law, Minister Shaini called on these parties to look into facts before coming to a conclusion on the current political status of the country. On this note, Minister Shaini stated that Maldives respects the concerns raised by the international communities but reiterated the commitment of Maldives in not allowing foreign influences into the internal matters in Maldives.
is not unduly putting forces to arrest everyone that is opponent. And some of the opponents that you cite, they were never opponents before they committed a crime. So you might look into the facts and actually look into who are these opponents. I mean, President Nasheed, he was convicted during the current regime, but before, his cases were filed before this presidency as well. So I think the message to the international community is that please have a look at the facts and look into what has happened in the Maldives. And we have shown in the past as well that these kind of issues we have sorted out ourselves, and we have the capacity to sort it out.
President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum declared state of emergency in Maldives on February 5 for a 15 days period. Maldives continues as normal with all places of work, businesses, schools, government and social services, travel, including all domestic and international airports, and leisure facilities all remaining fully open and operational.
Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure reveals that more than 2,000 individuals applied for 1,000 social housing units made available for civil servants. According to Housing Ministry, 2,161 civil servants applied for the housing units from 16 different offices. The ministry said 400 housing units will be allocated for technical and management staff, 300 housing units will be allocated for administrative staff, while 400 housing units will be allocated for support staff. The Housing Ministry cited that education qualification and employment duration will be prioritized in the criteria and that a list would be finalized by April this year. Maldives Airports Company Limited MACL launches the construction phase of the 2 towers as part of the largest social housing project initiated in the country.
Maldives Airports Company Limited MACL contracted China's Beijing Urban Construction Group to build the 2 housing towers. According to MACL, the 15-story towers would accommodate 1- and 3-bedroom apartments. Addressing the ceremony after launching the construction phase of 2 towers, Managing Director of MACL Adil Musa cited the company has always prioritized the betterment and advancement of its staff. Managing Director Adil Musa revealed that the company attaches high hope that the project would be completed successfully. Adil Musa assured that the management of MACL would provide easy payment scheme for the staff who apply for apartments from the tower. Addressing the ceremony, Minister of Economic Development Mohammed Said said MACL plays a crucial and integral role in the Maldivian economy. President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum inaugurated the HIA housing project as part of the administration's housing policy. The HIA housing project is aimed at resolving the housing issues faced by around 80,000 individuals of the population. A total of 10,800 housing units will be developed in 36 towers, which would include apartments of 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. Private companies along with state companies and government offices are part of the first of its kind mega housing project.
State Electric Company Limited Stelco signs an agreement with China-based Dongfang Electric International Corporation to establish a Greater Malé grid connection. The 132-kilowatt electricity network would connect Malé City, Hurule and Hulumale via the China-Maldives Friendship Bridge.
Initiated by President Abdullah Yamin Abdul Qayyum, the 5th Power Development Project is the largest power project implemented in the Maldives. The electricity development project, which is established to cope with the capacity surge in Malé City and Hulumale, is the largest project conducted by State Electric Company Limited, Stelco. According to Stelco, the project is inching towards completion and additional projects linked with the project are expected to start within the near future. One such project is the project initiated by Stelco to centralize the electricity networks of Malé City, Hurule and Hulumale via a network laid through China-Maldives Friendship Bridge. Briefing the media after the signing ceremony of Greater Malé Grid Connection, Chief Executive Officer of Stelco Ahmed Zuhur said the project would be completed as part of the 5th Power Development Project. The chief executive revealed that the electricity provided to Mali City stands at 70 megawatts and that the latest trends observed by the company showed electricity usage would double every 2 years. However, he assured that the fifth power development project developed in Hulmale would be able to cope with the electricity demands in the capital city and minimize any possible power cuts. According to Stelco, the Greater Mali Grid Connection project cost $44.6 million and should be completed within a period of 1 year.
The Iraq decides to distribute $58 million for its shareholders. This includes $29.3 million as interim dividend and $28.8 million for the year-end dividend. According to the Iraq, final dividend will be distributed among the shareholders listed on the book closure date announced for the next annual general meeting. Maldives Association of Travel Agents and Tour Operators Matato organizes a roadshow in Dubai with the participation of 13 Maldivian companies. Matato revealed the core objective of the roadshow is to advertise a Maldivian tourism industry in the Middle Eastern nations and revealed that a rave response was received from the target audience by recording over 200 agents visiting the roadshow. According to Matato, the organization has planned to expand its horizons by carrying out roadshows in 4 new destinations in Middle East, which include Dubai, Kuwait, Qatar and Oman. As per information provided by Matato, B2B events and workshops are organized through the roadshows. Looking at news from international arena, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi meets top chief executive officers and business heads in Muscat to explore options of close business cooperation between India and Oman.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the industry leaders of the Gulf and West Asia region as he pitched India's economic progress and huge scope for investment opportunities in the country. Modi also met Deputy Prime Minister of Oman Fahd bin Mahmoud Al Said. The two leaders exchanged views on intensifying bilateral cooperation in areas of energy, trade and investment, food security, defense and security, mining and other sectors. Oman is a key strategic partner for India in the Gulf region. Oman also accords a high priority to its ties with India. According to government figures, bilateral trade between the two countries stood at $4 billion in 2016 to 2017. The two countries also hold regular biennial bilateral exercises among all 3 defense services.
The biggest U.S. force in years joined an annual military exercise in Thailand despite controversy over the Thai junta's invitation to neighboring Myanmar's army, which has been accused of ethnic cleansing.
The United States scaled back attendance at Cobra Gold, which is Asia's largest multilateral military exercise, after a 2014 coup in Thailand. But the relations between the junta and the United States have improved under President Donald Trump. The presence of the 6,800 U.S. personnel, which is nearly double last year's number, was a demonstration of America's continuing muscle in a region where China is growing ever more powerful. This year's exercise has been marked by Thailand's controversial invitation to Myanmar, where 700,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled military action that the United Nations has denounced as ethnic cleansing.
It's very important.
U.S. Ambassador to Thailand Glyn T. Davies, who attended the opening ceremony, acknowledged the presence of an army major from Myanmar, but said the country would not participate in any military drills.
The Kuwait International Conference for the Reconstruction of Iraq opens with a focus on the post-war reconstruction of Iraq and other vital issues.
The three-day meeting held in Kuwait City, Kuwait's capital, which brings together several economic powers as well as regional and international organizations, will touch upon needed contributions to rebuilding Iraq after many years of war and conflict ripped through various parts of the country. Chairman of Iraq's Reconstruction Fund for areas affected by terrorist operations, Mustafa al-Hiti, addressed the conference about the importance of reporting damages so that the country can move forward with reconstruction programs. According to Iraqi officials, damage to infrastructure alone caused an estimated loss of $50 billion. Spokesman for the information officer of the Iraqi Prime Minister Saad al-Hadisi said Iraqi Planning Ministry confirmed that the infrastructure damage caused by conflicts in the areas controlled by the extremist groups was more than $35 billion. Director General of the Iraqi Ministry of Planning, Qusay Abdul Fattah, also said the reconstruction of Iraq urgently requires $22 billion in the short term and $66 billion in the medium term. Besides aid from the international community, Iraq is also seeking out investment to help rebuild the country's domestic economy.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson says Washington stand by Egypt in its fight against IS militants as he began a Middle East tour at a time of increasingly complex local and proxy conflicts.
U.S. Secretary of State Rex Tillerson stressed a need for free and fair elections in all countries ahead of a March presidential vote in Egypt, but withheld direct comment on what critics say is a crackdown on some rivals seeking to challenge President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi at the polls. Tillerson and his Egyptian counterpart Sameh Shoukry delivered a message that relations remain strong with one of the key U.S. Arab allies. When asked about U.S. Vice President Mike Pence's recent comments on North Korea, Tillerson said during a joint news conference with Shoukry that it was up to Pyongyang to decide when it was ready to engage in sincere talks with the United States. Comments by Pence in a newspaper interview suggested the U.S. may be looking more favorably at diplomatic engagement with North Korea as South Korea considers a rare summit with its neighbor in long-term foe. Tillerson arrived in Egypt, one of the main recipients of Washington's foreign aid, at the start of the regional tour amid heightened tensions between Israel, Syria and Damascus's ally Iran after an Israeli F-16 aircraft was shot down crashing in northern Israel.
Tottenham Hotspur arrive in Turin for training ahead of the first leg of their Champions League last 16 tie with Juventus.
The Serie A side has suffered a number of injuries with Juventus midfielder Blaise Matuidi unlikely to play in the match. Star forward Paulo Dybala has not played in recent weeks with goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon only just returning after injury. Juventus coach Massimiliano Allegri said he will adapt his team's strategy to the player, that he will choose to substitute Matuidi and that Juventus will have to play with intelligence and personality to make it through. Spurs will meet their opponents after a morale-boosting win against local rivals Arsenal following a Harry Kane header. But they will have to break through the Juventus defense with the team only letting in one goal over 16 matches.
Yeah, definitely. Not many people.
Speaking to journalists, Harry Kane said they came to Turin with belief and that he is looking forward to the challenge of testing himself against one of the world's best defenses.
And what they bring to the table, but
China sends 2 satellites into orbit by a single carrier rocket for its domestic Beidou navigation satellite system, BDS.
The twin satellites are the 5th and 6th satellites to join the Beidou 3 family to form a network. They entered orbit more than 3 hours after launch from the Xichang Satellite Launch Center in southwest China's Sichuan province. In building the Beidou 3 system, scientists have mastered hundreds of key techniques to localize 90% of the equipment and realize total independent control. With the building and improvement of the Earth-based boosting system, it can well provide the meter and even millimeter level services. The Beidou system has been widely used in areas such as meteorology and hydrology, communication and transport, forest fire prevention and power grid operation. It has played an important role in such major tasks of responding to emergencies and providing effective rescue and disaster relief. China plans to accomplish the networking of more than 30 Beidou satellites by 2020, which will by then have the ability to providing services globally.
Well, that's it for now. Stay tuned for more updates of recent current affairs stories here on PSM News. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.